Hello everyone and welcome to Sports Insight. I'm your host Cliff Elgin. Sports Insight is Montgomery County Public Schools' newest TV series. Each month we plan to go behind the scenes in our middle and high schools to show you how our athletic programs complement the high academic expectations we have for our students. In upcoming episodes, we will speak to student athletes and coaches, teachers, counselors, parents, and alums, as well as many of the school-based support staff that make our athletic programs the best in the nation. Before we start, a little about myself. I'm currently at Clarksburg High School as a social studies teacher, assistant athletic director, and I've coached everything from basketball, baseball, golf, and yes, even my favorite, bocce. And I can't wait to bring you the story of MCPS athletics. Today on our premiere episode, the topic is sportsmanship. MCPS has a unique and comprehensive sportsmanship program that we feel sets the standard for teaching sportsmanship in public school athletics and in life. Our program holds all of our administrators, coaches, players, and fans accountable for good sportsmanship. And we enlist the help of referees to monitor each event. So now, let's head to Rockville High School, home of the Rams, where basketball season is underway, and see a little of what sportsmanship looks like at MCPS athletic events. It is now, and always has been, the mission of MCPS athletics to teach and reinforce good sportsmanship in student athletes. Sportsmanship reflects mutual respect for all participants, wholesome competition and fair play during games, practices, and everyday life. And our students at MCPS understand. They get it.
Sportsmanship is seen in my everyday practices with Palms, but I'm also going to school every day, and so we have grades every day. Sometimes your friend gets a better grade than you, but you're not gonna sit there and sulk. You're gonna be like, great job, and then you're gonna try harder. It's all about bettering yourself.
I think a big thing is when someone falls on the ground, I think you should put a hand out to help them. And I feel like it's kind of translates to life as well. It's cheesy, but if someone's struggling, put a hand out and help them.
I think basketball teaches many life lessons, and sportsmanship being probably one of the best ones, in my opinion. That's a way you can live your life for the rest of the time you're on this earth. It's just a great way to live. People respect you for it too.
You can't grow up in life having bad sportsmanship because you can't function that way, being rude to everyone. You're not going to get very far. Good sportsmanship, you're going to make a lot of friends, go places, people like that.
Sportsmanship also plays a role for the students who come to watch the games. When student spectators act in a sportsmanlike way, they focus on the positive and support the development of our young athletes, whether they win or lose.
We know that it's not going to be a perfect linear process from freshman through senior year, but we want to make sure that when our kids are graduating that they're doing so, not just with academic skills or not just in this case with basketball skills, but also with, skills to be able to be successful in life and understand how to win, how to lose, and then how to take things in stride.
It's just a matter of how you felt at the end. If you're satisfied with your performance, then you've won.
Great comment there from one of our Palm Squad members. Our student athletes really do get the meaning of sportsmanship. And now I'd like to discuss it further. I'd like to introduce Stephanie Blake from Northwest High School. Stephanie is an MCPS physical education teacher and also the girls varsity volleyball coach at Northwest for the last 7 years. Stephanie is a Salisbury University and Quince Orchard High School graduate. Thanks for being with us today, Stephanie. Also joining us today is Northwest High School senior Gabby Bennett. Gabby is a captain on the Northwest volleyball team, and I'm told she's a great outside hitter. Gabby is also a Northwest High School ambassador and member of the National Honor Society. Welcome to Sports Insight.
Thank you.
So first we want to start off, congratulations on winning the state championship. People don't understand, I don't know if you two understand, how hard it is to win a state championship. And you've done that, and just how good does it feel? Coach, first you.
It feels great.
Yeah.
It was a great season, and the next spring seasons are about to start, but it still feels great knowing that we won and seeing the girls in the hallway still all the time, and all these people seeing me for the first time are always congratulating me, so it's great.
And Gabby, I know it's a lot of work. You've probably been playing volleyball your whole life. When you finally win the state championship, just for everyone out there, what's that feeling like?
It's really great. It's amazing, and there's no better way to end your senior year than winning a state championship.
Now, you just missed the year before, right? We lose in the state finals. So let me go to you first.
Okay.
What do you think was the difference between finishing runner-up and then winning the whole thing this year?
We definitely added some people to our team this year, but also the girls, last year we didn't have any seniors on our team, so a lot of them were on varsity for the first time as a junior, and they just didn't have as much experience, and they got to play club again at a higher level, and then just have that experience being in that building with the nice crowd and everything like that.
And now, Gabby, from the player's perspective, what did you think was the big difference this year where you win it all, and then last year where you came so close?
Last year was like our first time in the state tournament like ever, and that was our first appearance. And on the court, you could tell we were a little nervous and a little rattled because it was our first time there. But going in this year, we were more experienced. We were like more seasoned as a team, and we knew what to expect when we went in there. So yeah.
All right, we're going to get back to the volleyball in a second, but Coach Blake, I want to turn it to the sportsmanship for a second, because Northwest is every year is in the top 3, it seems like, in the county overall as a high school for the sportsmanship award. So how do you guys as a coaching staff kind of instill that great sportsmanship into the Jaguar family and pass it on to your players?
Well, our principal and our athletic director are very into it. They say it almost any chance that they can get about sportsmanship and stuff like that. But on the volleyball team, the girls are just great. I don't really ever have to like drill it into them or say, make sure you don't say this or make sure you don't do that, no matter what situation you get into. I think that they know that if something's going wrong, like I have their back, I'll make sure that it gets right. And I know that a lot of them are also thinking about going to play in college, and they know that any chance a college coach can be watching them, and you never know. One thing that they see, like that's it, they don't want that anymore.
So Gabby, now that you've had 4 years of sports at Northwest, how would you say that sportsmanship has been imparted upon you guys as athletes, and how do you carry that in your day-to-day life, even just outside of the athletics?
Yeah, like our principal and our athletic director, they always tell us about it. So I think it plays like a role like in our school life basically, where we don't go around like trying to like be better than everyone else. And like when we're at other schools, like as an away team, like when we're cheering, we don't try and bash on them. So it's just part of like growing up and like being a part of your own character basically, like going out there and just like supporting your team and having fun, because that's what the sport's all about.
Do either of you have any kind of one moment or instance where the sportsmanship you went, wow, like I'm really impressed by what we just did, or even if it was opponent towards you guys, anything?
I'm always impressed with the girls. I think that they're great in school, out of school. All the teachers are always telling me how great they are in their classes and after school at lunch, stuff like that. So I'm always just impressed with them as a whole, because obviously I think that they're the best ever. But they never really got into a situation where they start yelling at the ref or yelling at someone else on the court. Like you do see that when you go and play some other teams or other sports. Sometimes you see a bad call and it's a judgment call, so it's their judgment versus ours. And you see that person starting to yell at the ref or getting really mad at their teammate or yelling, and it's just like, oh my gosh, like it just looks awful. Like I'm so glad that we're not like that, at least to my eye.
All right, Gabby, I want to go back to volleyball and back to you. So senior year's coming to an end here soon. Any plans for next year, and does it include volleyball, or what's on the horizon for Gabby Bennett?
Just trying to narrow down my schools basically, and probably not going to play in college, but I'll definitely be playing club volleyball because it's a sport that I love and it has to be a part of my life.
Good. And Coach Blake, we're going to turn to you now. So we're going to go to next year, and now the target is on your back.
It is.
So what does the season look like looking ahead for 2016 in Northwest volleyball?
I'm really excited. I can't wait. It couldn't start any sooner. I still see some of the girls that aren't playing next year, and they're always like, I can't wait for next year. I can't wait for Summer League. I can't wait for this. And we have a lot. We're losing, 9 seniors?
Yes.
We're losing a big core of our team. But we still have a lot of players left, a lot of really good players left. So I'm just so excited to get back working with them and get the season started and hopefully have another really great season.
I want to thank both of you for being the first guests ever on Sports Insight. So thank you very much. It goes without saying that referees play a big role at sporting events because it's the referees who enforce the rules of the game. But at MCPS sporting events, we ask the referees that work for us to do more. The referees at our events are also watching for the level of sportsmanship on display by players, coaches, and even the fans. They bring an unbiased eye to the event and are a critical piece of the MCPS sportsmanship program. And joining us now is Dr. Duke Beatty, the Director of System-Wide Athletics for MCPS and creator of the unique sportsmanship program in place at our 63 middle and high schools. Welcome to Sports Insight, Dr. Beatty.
Well, thank you for having me.
Let's start with this. This is one of your babies. 18 years as the System-Wide Director of MCPS Athletics. How did you come up with this idea, and why did you come up with this idea?
Well, we had several motives. We wanted to determine a way that we could hammer home our idea of athletics as a school-based, education-based program. So we wanted the idea front and center that we're all about learning. That's what the interscholastic athletic program is all about, not about winning and losing. So how to do that? How to bring in all the key stakeholders, referees, students, coaches, spectators, parents, administrators, all into one clear, unambiguous goal to achieve the highest level of sportsmanship we can, because indeed, that is our #1 priority.
Now, was there a model out there in the country that you looked at and said, yeah, let's take this, we'll tweak it a little bit, or did you start this from scratch?
There wasn't a model. Different people did different kinds of things. Where I wanted to try to go an extra length beyond some of the programs was bringing referees in. I think the thing we did most unique was bringing referees in, and increasingly the literature in our field made clear how much referees were under attack by coaches and parents and what have you. So I figured I could bring our referees. They're going to be totally on board with this if I can emphasize to them it is for everybody's mutual advantage to play ball with this program. So I think everybody bought into it part and parcel from day one, because I think everybody saw their role as an important stakeholder, and it could behoove everyone with this program be a success.
And I'm glad you brought that piece with the referees, because that's where I was going to go next with the questioning, because I think when people come to events, they know the administrators are watching the crowd, they know the people are watching the coaches, but I don't think our viewers out there realize that the referees are also evaluating everyone in the process. And so you mentioned, so it was not a difficult sell at all to the referees? Were they willing to do it?
No, it was a very easy sell. When I spoke with the commissioners and discussed with them what our motives were, what we were trying to do, and how this would be only a positive for referees, and we made it as easy as we could, their impact, their input. For instance, we created a sportsmanship form where we rated the home team, the visiting team, and the home team's efforts to promote sportsmanship. In other words, the home team, their coach, their players, their spectators, the visiting team, their coach, their players, and their spectators, and the home team's effort to promote sportsmanship. Might even include the announcement prior to the game. So the referees, we provide them in a pre-addressed stamped envelope prior to the game, and we make a point of emphasis. I want the coach to actually extend that envelope to the referee. We can do it online and things like that, but frankly, even for one brief shining moment, the extension of that envelope to the referee between two adults, two important players in tonight's contest, that extension to sportsmanship is what counts most, and the crowd, to whomever may or may not be looking, watching that exchange occur. So I think the referees saw right away that what was in it for them, and they were part of our teaching process as well then.
Let's go next to, and I don't know if people realize this as well, but there are rewards for the schools. And I think that's an important part that you've made of this program, as schools will be rewarded. And because of that, as a coach, as an athletic administrator, we take it seriously too. So explain to the reward program that you came up with for the high schools.
Yes, in fact, a portion of the reward program was a little bit controversial. One thing, the school each year that wins the most number of sportsmanship awards, its teams that win, receives actually a cash award of $2,000. And we also have cash awards for the second and third place teams. In addition, each school, we started out with a plaque that houses 24 plates. So, for instance, if field hockey, a school's field hockey team wins the sportsmanship award, it gets field hockey 2011, whatever the year might be. So we now have purchased over 150 plaques for our schools with 25 high schools. They average about 6 plaques now. In fact, we just last year, at the end of last year, we added them up. We've awarded 3,500 sportsmanship awards approximately. And last year was an all-time high. We hit the 400 mark for the year for the first time. And this fall, we had the highest fall we've ever had. So it keeps increasing the number of sportsmanship award winners, which is a very positive sign. It's designed in a fashion that if indeed it's possible for all teams to win. It's not based on a bell-shaped curve where you're automatically going to have a certain number of teams win and lose. It's based so that all teams could conceivably win it.
Where would you like to see it go from here? 'Cause it's been successful, and I know that having played in the county, baseball and basketball, and having coached now for about 18 years, I don't see nearly as many technical fouls as I used to, even 15, 20 years ago, from players and coaches. But where do you want to see this go from now? Because it's been successful. So what, dream world, where does this go from here?
I do think that I don't think that the program is necessarily a panacea to all the ills that can occur at athletic contests. But I do think it addresses a number of things that puts everybody on board. I would like to see players and coaches continually trying to exercise the types of behaviors that are required, that should be displayed at contests. I want all of our players to understand, first and foremost, that they can be young gentlemen, young ladies, and still be terrific athletes and ferocious competitors at the same time. They're not mutually exclusive states. And that's what I ultimately want our youngsters to learn, that they can be both. They can be a lady and a gentleman and a ferocious competitor.
Well, I think you should be proud of the program because it's been great. And I think as you look back at your career, I think obviously it's something you're going to be very proud of.
Well, thank you. A lot of people work very hard toward making this program successful.
All right, I think that's a good place to end our discussion of sportsmanship today. I'm sure it'll be a topic that we will revisit on Sports Insight. Thank you, Dr. Beatty. And I'd also like to thank Coach Blake and Gabby Bennett for being a part of the first Sports Insight program ever. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'm Cliff Elgin, and I'll see you on the next episode of Sports Insight.